Hey, good morning, guys. It's KB5MIQ Bigboy. Kind of changing up what I had planned for video today. I planned to do another operating video, but I just spent about 30 minutes on HF. Conditions are probably better this afternoon. If I get time, I may shoot some for next Wednesday, but they couldn't really make any contacts this morning. I was trying to listen to POTA on 20, and every station I heard was so far down in the weeds. When I video these stations for y'all, I kind of like to find a fairly strong station so the audio picks up good. But I did have a little interesting experience on 20 meters. I started to film it, but I decided not to. But I tuned down in the extra class portion of 20, and I heard two loud stations. They were full 5.9 plus on me. And I'm listening to them, and I heard a couple of others down there in the extra class portion of 20. And I'm sure it's just regular morning, what we used to call skeds, where these guys meet to talk down there in that part of the section. Well, I'm listening to them, and I honestly don't like to interrupt two guys talking, even though we welcome it on the ham radio hammerheads group. Unless I feel like they're willing to have somebody break in, I usually don't interrupt. Well, I listened to him. One of them said, "Hey, I got to go QRT for a minute." And the other guy said, "Hey, I got to do some testing here." And he was the strongest station. So I'm listening to him, got my camera ready. He comes up, throws his call sign out, testing. And I answer, "Hey, KB5MIQ, I have you 5.9 plus, Avery, Texas." No response, nothing. Well, 20 meters, single sideband phone. If they're running an amp, the band conditions are bad. Honestly, there was a chance he might not be hearing me. So I sat there a minute, and he called out again, and I did the same thing again. No response. I'm fixing to tune off. Third time he done, I tried it one more time. I said, "Hey, this is KB5MIQ, name David. I got you 5.9 plus, Avery, Texas." And he had somebody there with him, and I heard the guy in the background say, "Hey, he said you was 5.9. No response whatsoever. So evidently, I wasn't in the little extra class group he wanted to talk to this morning, even though I am an extra class ham. I'm not saying I was sad hammed, but I'm fairly certain the guy was hearing me, and he didn't have the courtesy to respond. That's one of the issues that we have with ham radio, especially when you get new guys on here. Now, I'm 67 years old. I was screamed at in 1980 by Vietnam vet drill sergeants. I'm pretty thick-skinned. I did not get mad about that, not in the least. It bothered me a bit. But today's younger people are a little more sensitive than us old hands are, and they don't take well to that. So, kind of brings me into this subject I kind of want to talk about on this video, since I'm not going to do a operating video today. I was at the McCurtain County Ham Club meeting last night, and the club president, Craig Wall, W5CBW, he's been bringing up different ways that ham clubs can try to attract younger people in the hobby. Now, I'm a member of 3 clubs now: McCurtain County, 4 States Amateur, and Radio Amateurs of Cass County. And there's one thing all 3 have in common. Oh, excuse me a minute, something nice. And Craig brought this up last night. You look at the group of people that's there, with the exception of very few, and in the case of last night in McCurtain County, there was only 2 people there that I caught that was under the age of 50. We're all getting long in the tooth. And like Craig said, and we need to figure out a way to why we can't attract more younger people into this hobby. And I know there's all kinds of reasons out there. The number one reason is you're competing with cell phones, tablets, video games, social media. But if you have a younger person interested and you do something to offend them, you've just run off a ham. You've just run off potential ham. Kent sent me a link to a video the other day, or it might have been Chris. Somebody sent me this link, and it was a guy that's got a YouTube channel where he talks about radios and prepping and things like that. And he was set up to take his test to become a ham, and somebody at the club offended him, and he said he wasn't going to mess with it. He said he'd just stick with GMRS. Well, guys, we got to stop doing that. I noticed this in 91 when I got in here, when I was in my 30s, early 30s, and I'm sitting there thinking, these guys act like this to new people. Who they think they're going to talk to down the road if they don't get any new people in here? It's like the meme that I've seen where the guy shoots a guy, old ham radio operator, new ham. Then the old guy turns around, we can't get anybody a new ham radio. We're going to kill this hobby ourselves if we don't quit the gatekeeping, the snarky comments, whatever it is keeping people out. There's a lot of more knowledgeable ham radio operators than I am. I spent the afternoon with Kent yesterday explaining to me how quantum radar works and things like that. And Kent is an electronics computer genius. And I always enjoy hearing him talk about stuff like that, even though I may not understand what he's talking about. He's knowledgeable. He don't mind sharing his knowledge, and he does it in a way where it's not condescending. And it's good for the hobby. Craig Wall, great antenna builder. He puts on antenna building workshops. You couldn't ask for a nicer guy to do an antenna building workshop. Ham clubs have got to take the lead, and ham radio operators, and even YouTubers. And I'm not a famous YouTuber. I like it when I go to Ham Fest and people do recognize me. And I talk to everybody that talks to me, and I try to answer all my comments. We've got to do a better job getting people attracted to this hobby. ARRL naysayers, I'm not a fan of ARRL, but I just renewed my membership. And I just renewed it through the club so they get a little kickback on it. So they're all we got. And if a new ham is interested, direct them toward ARRL. There's tons of information there they get, whether you like it or not. Okay, you're going to have to put that aside and keep your dislike of something in this hobby to yourself, or we're not going to have this hobby. I've said this all along. People are watching us closer than ever because money is available and technology is growing leaps and bounds, and people want our bands. And if we keep up this snarky, sad ham crap, somebody gonna come up with enough money to get them one day. So, ham clubs, ham operators, I challenge you to do this because this is what I'm fixing to do. And I hope any young person that sees this video that happens to run into me at a ham fest, please stop me. I try to talk to everybody, but I'm a little bit socially awkward. I always have been. So it's hard for me sometimes just to walk up to somebody randomly and just start talking. When I have people come up to talk to me, I love to talk to them. I'll stop what I'm doing. I'll talk to them. And most of the way they break the ice with me, they ask me how ham radio cat is. And by the way, she's asleep in the living room with her mama. But I am going to make an effort. When I see somebody under the age of 50, especially 40, 30, and 20 at a ham fest, I am going to go up to them, stop them, ask them if they're ham, how long they've been a ham, interview them, get them on video. If they're not a ham, ask them if they're interested in it, see what I can do to steer them toward ham radio. And if they tell me, I want to be a ham, but something happened that made me not want to be. Tell me what happened. Let me see if I can change your mind on it. That's my promise to y'all that I'm fixing to start doing. I'm going to get more aggressive about that because we've got to do something to attract more people in here. I want to see us with 1 million hams, licensed, active hams, and we're getting close in this country with that right now. My next ham fest I plan to be at, unless something changes, I'll be at Emory on the 25th, I believe, this month. Then I'll be at 4 states May 30th. I'm going to attempt to go to the DFW Ham Expo in June. I can't promise that yet. I'll be at Shreveport and Mena for sure. I haven't made my mind up on Huntsville. I kind of doubted I'd like to, but probably depend on how hay season's going and what I got going with cows and stuff. Even though I don't have a large herd, but I still got half a dozen cows. Takes up time just like a hunter does. So I'm kind of busy with that. But I got off track there a little bit. If you see somebody interested, explain it to them. Show them every aspect of it. And I'm going to tell you something else. You old hands, my head may explode when I say this. If a new ham is interested, when I really ain't got the money for a radio, show them EchoLink. Show them how EchoLink works. Get their ticket. Help them get signed up with EchoLink. McCurtain County has check-ins to their net from around the world using EchoLink. And I know them old hams hate EchoLink because it's not RF. You're not putting down RF. I don't care. It's accepted mode. And if it will attract a new ham, because everybody in the world's got one of these smartphones. And if it'll attract a new ham to get his ticket, tech ticket, get on EchoLink, then that might be what it takes to get him into the hobby. All right? Show them something else. If they say, well, I'd like to do a little more than that, still don't have a lot of money, show them a Shark Open Spot Pro 4 and how the app works. Because with that one, I've got one here. That one, I was laying here, it's right here. This one, with the app, you don't even have to have a radio. Your phone has a push-to-talk option where you can use your phone to talk through it. And I've made contacts like that on video. Show them those two ways. That'll get them on the air without having a big outlay of money. And that might be all it takes to get them interested enough to go ahead and start looking for radios and things like that. Technology is what's going to attract these people, and being made to feel welcome into the hobby is as important as technology. And we've got to quit the gatekeeping and the snarky comments or the NASA engineer comments. There's one from my old buddy David. He's a retired NASA engineer. And when I say that, NASA engineer comments, it's over explaining something, even though you may understand the nuclear electron proton breakdown of RF. Somebody else don't understand that. There's no need to scare them to death by breaking it down that quick to show them because it's unnecessary. One of the biggest issues I had when I was trying to train people to build instrument panels at Red River is they would look at this blueprint showing 1,000 wires and all these numbers and connections. It intimidated the crap out of them. And I said, that don't mean nothing. All you're doing is ohming this stuff out to make sure it's not broke. It's a lot simpler than it looks like. Same way in ham radio. Don't overwhelm them. When people send me questions, I give them a basic answer. I'm not trying to be snarky. I'm not trying to be overly explanatory in it. A lot of times that's the basic answer is all I got. But that's what I give people. And you don't want to overwhelm them, and you certainly don't want to belittle them. So ham clubs, you're going to have to take the lead on this. You're going to have to get some people involved, get some young people, welcome into the club. Recognize them. If you got a visitor, recognize them at the club. Make them feel, some people talk to them, hey, if you're interested, we'll help you any way we can, whatever. I was turned off of ham clubs years ago when I got snubbed at a ham club when I went to take my general upgrade. They didn't even acknowledge my presence there until it was time to test. Then they told me they wasn't going to test me, even though I had made arrangements the night before. All of a sudden, they didn't have enough VEs. Come to find out, that club hated no-code generals. That club no longer exists anymore, and that's good. That's the type of stuff we don't need. If you have club leadership that is preaching that type of stuff, you need to get new club leadership. That's all I can say. Well, guys, I've ranted enough on that subject. I've got a new ham fest I'm adding to the ham fest. It'll probably be the last one because it's in October. But Radio Amateurs of Cass County is going to try their first tailgate sale ham fest in October, and I will be there. They've already put my picture on the slide as I'll be there in person, so I will be there. If you're in Emory, please stop me and talk to me. Please. I really want to interview you. I really want to talk to you about ham radio. Guys, my usual sponsor links are in the description of my channel on YouTube: Broken Circuit Ranch, Circle 6 Bell Drop, a door planter. MRG Labs will be the first slide you see. Dan Major's radio and amp repair out in Farmersville, Texas. All the usual slides follow. Guys, I appreciate all your support. I enjoy doing this channel for y'all, and I want to do it to keep ham radio alive as long as we can. This is KB5MIQ Bigboy, 73.